Hello and welcome everyone to the Masterpiece Report webinar. This is an all new, brand new training that is going on right now. Thank you all for being on live. Greatly appreciated. And we just want to welcome you to the webinar. I'm going to actually turn it over to the webinar host and trainer tonight, Dr. Chris Zaino. Take it away.
What's up, heroes? It's Dr. Zaino with Dr. Tabor. Thanks so much. So we had a lot of questions saying, hey, listen, we love the Ask Dr. Zaino shows, and you love asking the questions, and we're almost getting like that mastermind Q&A stuff. But we were getting a lot of questions that you guys love. Of course, you love hanging with us and the emotional aspect of it, but it came to the point where you wanted a little bit more steak. You know, we had a lot of sizzle, but you wanted more practical, how to actually get stuff done, because you would leave the Ask Dr. Zaino show with a little bit of inspiration and motivation, but then you went to your practice and you're like, man, we need some tools. So Tabor and I were dedicating ourselves to give you what you wanted. You know, we're going to give you some tools today that I guarantee in as little as, you know, from here to a week from now, your entire practice and therefore your life will change. So, I mean, let's go over it, right? So, Tabor, you want to start now? Or we'll start, or?
Yeah. Let's jump right into it. We're going to have a Q&A at the end. So everybody stay on all the way to the end, and we'll go over questions.
And then, you know, the Q&A at the end could be anything that you're thinking about, you know, whether it's about this or not. So we're going to talk about the Masterpiece Report, just how to create the time, increase your income, and get more lifetime patients without working more. And in growing my practice, having one of the largest practices in the history of the profession, you know, I could tell you all the things I did, but understand this, I had to become extremely efficient. See, that's one of the things, because a lot of times when people hear my numbers, whether it be financially, patient volume, or the hours I work, like it's hard for people to believe, but you have to understand I became extremely efficient on all processes. I talk about time expansion. You know, I could take the same time I could take the same hour that you work, and I found a way to actually expand that 1 hour to make it as productive and as efficient as possible to work for us and not against us. So I'm going to teach you all that today. And so the goal is this. You know, this webinar is for two types of docs. You know, for those of you guys who are beginners, maybe you're in school, maybe you're coming out of school. I'm going to show you how to increase your new patient signups for higher packages, meaning that higher care plans. You'll be able to get your patients on lifetime mission for your office without working more, and actually you'll be working less, because the end goal is always lifetime patients. And see, a person who signs up for 12 visits, or they come in because their insurance pays for 6, there's a different lifetime value versus someone who comes in, pays full price, takes control of their health, and they're a lifetime patient. The value of a lifetime patient is amazing. And that's what we need to shoot for, is these lifetime patients, because it takes less work to keep lifetime patients, because you have a practice. So now for the docs out there that you are awoken and you are your heroes out there, you're already doing group reports. You learn how to become a ninja. I'm going to teach you how to become a ninja by destroying every single objection that can ever be thought of, and expand your reach as a true authority in the community and the world, and increase your care plans due to delivering higher value. So for the docs that are out there that are doing this, there's always another level. Always remember, the reason why I still get coaching and stuff and seek outside the best, because there's always another level. And if you are rocking it, I'm going to teach you how to rock it more, bust objections more, and as well, I'm going to ask you to even raise your care plans, because you're going to finally raise your care plans to match the value that you deliver. Okay? Now, this is my big premise here. The only way you can scale and increase the capacity of active patients, your income and your value in the shortest time and the least staff, is through group reports. Plain and simple. You have to understand that I never look back. Now this Masterpiece Report program that Dr. Tabor and I made, it's the most effective and detailed program out there for the group reporter findings, period. For many reasons. Okay, so number one, the reasons why it's the best one out there is because we're actually doing it. Tabor and I are tweaking it. It's up to date. We're in the practice with you already. And when I've been at both ends. Dr. Tabor and I have been on both ends, meaning that, you know, back in the day, I came out of school and I went to coaching programs, and what we were told to do, you got to do a one-on-one doctor's report, right? You got to sit knee to knee. You got to get them to the point where they cry. You got to get them, you know, just emotional. You got to really pour all your heart into them, and you put all this energy, one-to-one DRs. That's the only way you're going to build rapport. And then but here's the thing, one-on-one DRs took so much out of me. But the thing is, I wanted to do more DRs because if I wanted to see more patients, get more new patients, which I was doing. So watch this, Tabor and I always joke, chiropractic's the only thing that the better you get at it and you get more new patients, it's like you get punched in the face, right, Tabor? We talked about
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Tabor, we got 50 new patients this week. And then you feel the kick in the groin and the punch in the face of having to go through 50 doctor's reports.
It's like the harder you work, the harder you have to work.
Oh my God, yeah. So, I mean, I got to the point where I was doing 50 to 20 times a week, Tabor and I, or even more. I remember one week I did like 50 reported findings. I always felt rushed, right? Because I would do some during the shift. So if I'm in the shift or before the shift, then patients are piling up. My staff's coming around, they're knocking on the door. You know, the 2 knocks means my staff knocked on the door. 2 knocks means get the hell out of there. You know, they were like, close it up. And then so now I wasn't present because I was worried. And then if I did stay after shift, I would adjust people and I would have to stay out hours after shift. So there was no gym time. I couldn't take care of myself and I was exhausted. So I felt like I was working forever. And it was very tough to keep my energy in state, right? Because I can't rev the RPMs like that. So my energy was fluctuating. So my energy became the variable in whether that patient signed up. So I had all these variables, right? Are patients there? Are patients not there? Am I a good mood, a bad mood? Am I tired? You know, am I being needy? You know, right? So, and then they were short time patients, meaning, you know, I learned really good how to get them to sign to get that adjustment. You follow? I got them good to do this. You know, hey, I got them enough to persuade them to, okay, make the decision to do something that day. But because it was this doctor's report, this report of findings, I wasn't able to give them the mission, the vision. So they would feel better and they would leave, right? Or their insurance stopped paying, so they would leave. And the objections, that's a big time. That was the most, I was in the room for so long because I was busy doing objection management. And it felt like ping pong, right? They object, I'd give a reason, a one-liner. They object, a one-liner. And so it became this back and forth, a long thing. And yes, I'd wear them out to where they would sign up, but it was just ridiculous. And so then I had, you know, I said, something's got to change. I'm worn out. I'm really getting sick and tired of this. I'm burning out. But like Dr. Tabor said, I wanted to increase my practice. I wanted to help more people, but I'm like, it was almost the fear of success. If I was successful getting more new patients and having more new patients, that meant I would have the fear of having to do another 50 reported findings this week. I wanted to just bash my head against the wall. And so then I said, okay, listen, I got to change something. I have to become efficient. So I knew some people were doing a group report of findings, and I said, well, I got scared, and I'll go over the things that scared me for a group report. How am I going to build rapport? How am I going to talk that long? What am I going to say? What if they have questions? You know, all these things are the reason why I couldn't do it. But I was in so much pain, and I was getting so frustrated and burnt out. I'm like, something's got to change. And so I'm a speed of implementation. You know, you guys know me. I was like, I made the decision, boom, tonight we're doing it. So all these people that I see for their day one, we're going to bring them in tomorrow night all together. So we actually originally did it one time a week. So we brought them all in there. There's a group of people, and you know what? I knew I could stay there and share my heart. I could educate them, share my heart, tell my story, and share really the vision. And what I mean share my heart, it's like they get to see what I really think and believe about chiropractic. You know, versus when I was one-on-one in the room, it was only me about being real technical about their spine, but there was no mission, there was no vision, there was no joining a movement behind there. And so it went a little bit longer. So I went a little bit longer in the doctor's report. So let's say I talked for 40 minutes, but how about the other 36 to 38 hours? I remember one of the 36 hours of reported findings I did, you know, or 24 hours of reported findings I did one-on-one. So this talking 40 minutes saved me, you know, 18 hours. And then in that group report, before we got in the room, the time, the money, the spouse, I got to think about it. I got to pray about it. Dave Ramsey and his, I got to become debt free. I'm buying a house. You know, do I have time to wait? What do my kids got to get checked? all the objections you could think of, I was able to address those before they went in the room. And then, like I said, I really showed the mission and the vision of the office. So this is where we're helping people. How many people know this? No one does. So you got to tell your friends and family. And then it increased referrals. I mean, now people, because they got the vision and they're looking at me saying, listen, this is the person I want to lead me. And then I started doing dinners, right? So then dinners, because I didn't have to do, I was doing all types of ads in the newspaper, all this other stuff, media. And I said, well, hey, listen, if I could help people in a group report, show them the vision, why can't I do that outside? So I started to do the dinners like that. And then so people were referring people in the office, our dinners were starting to fill up. And then I realized in that moment, doing that group report, I added more value because I was able to show the entire value, not just getting your back pain. I showed them that this is for your entire life. And because that people, I was able to charge more, people were paying in full out of their pocket. Because remember, this whole group thing started when I went, right around when I went cash. Because when you had insurance, it was easy, right? Hey, here's your copay, it takes care of it. So I didn't have to share vision, but now people paid in full, they were more committed. And then because the vision was lifetime patients, they understood, when you correct your problems and get well, how long do you want to maintain that for? Forever. What if you stopped? What would happen? I get worse. So how long do you want to maintain your spine for? For the rest of our lives. So they knew it's lifetime care. And it actually, but it actually came with a good problem that I saw that was kind of a bad problem, but it became a good problem. It actually weeded out the patients who would be trouble patients and didn't belong in the office. Many of you are sitting here and the patients you accepted into your office and you dread seeing them. Come on, they don't fit in your office and you know it. They drain you, they're vampires. And many of you right now that are listening to me who have gotten a board complaint or you've been sued, I guarantee when you got that board complaint or that lawyer letter, you knew exactly, oh my God, that I knew that patient was going to be not a right fit. But because you were needy and you were going in for the win, what happened? They actually caused you more harm, stress, and finances. So it started to weed out people because someone's like, I'm not part of this vision. I want to quick crack and get out of here. I became the authority. When you're in the group, I become the leader. Remember, you have certainty, your authority, you have the respect. And I was able to bring my A game 1 to eventually 3 times a week. I did 3 doctor reports a week versus 15 to 20, 30 times a week, having to bring my A game and focus. It's very tough. And I wasn't rushed, right? Because I'm doing these, Dr. Tabor and I, we do them after our adjusting hours. So we weren't rushed. We could just focus on one thing. And I truly educated people and raised the value in what we did over anyone else in the area. So no one in the area is doing what we do, right? You got the I don't want to name the place. You already know what it is. The cheaper place where they don't really educate you. And people, because of the lack of education, they realize that if we educate them, they realize how much different you are. See, you want to focus on your differences, not your differences and your uniqueness, not your sameness. And so here's a perfect example. So I had a couple of people, when you guys come to my Zaino experience, that we have a lot of docs are saying, listen, I'm working forever. I can't work anymore. I'm already working 60, 70 hours a week because I know you docs out there, when you're done adjusting and everything, you got to do the paperwork, you got to draw your x-rays. It's like you're there all day and you're saying, I don't know how I could possibly add another thing on my plate. And so we had a couple of doctors come in and I'm like, you got to try your group report of finance. No, well, I don't know how am I going to build rapport. I'm like, do it. So they started doing the group reports. And I said, just do your day one. Just share yourself. Show everything you want a patient to know. And they would tell me, oh, I want them to know this. What else do you want them to know? I said, what do you want them to wish to know? I wish my patients knew to help others. I wish my patients knew to refer their friends and family. I wish my patients knew that this is something you do for the rest of your life. So they told me all their wishes. I'm like, great. That's what you talk about. And they went in there and talked about it. And then you get the phone call. Dr. Z, we had 6 people, 5 to 6 signed up, 3 were paid in fulls. And then you do that once and you never go back to it again. And they're like, and I saved 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours a week. And I love this idea. So what am I going to do with all this extra time? I don't know what to do with it. So this is why you can't believe the lies. These are working with thousands of doctors, Dr. Tabor and I, we always hear, these are some of the 3 big lies when it comes to a group report or even talking or dinners, they say, well, number one, deep down inside, they don't want to tell people, they say, I'm not a good speaker, or I'm not as a good speaker as you or that other person. And so the thing is, we're going to teach you, how if we could teach you how to become an amazing influencer? See, it's not, number one, you aren't a good speaker. I'm not a good speaker, but you know what we are? We're amazing influencers, right? We're not perfectionists, we're potentialists. And we're there not to speak. We're not going to do a Bill Clinton speech. Who the hell wants that? That's when they give you a golf clap and they say that was good information. When you're an influencer, you influence and lead people to take control of their health. And at the same time, you're building massive rapport and true authority. And the line number two is the patient needs to be adjusted on the day one, right? Because they're in pain or they do this. So doc, you're not going to adjust me, because people want to come in, but they want you to do all the work for them, not realizing that, hey, listen, you're the person, your lack of knowledge or your blind spots and how you lived your life got you into this position in the first place. So if I don't educate you and lead you to take full control of your health, then I did nothing for you. So that's taking authority and leading the patients. And then the third one, they don't have time, money, et cetera. So all the objections that you have to deal with. And objections are symptoms, right? That's all they want. They're a symptom, but we got to get to the root cause of the problem. If you don't get to the root cause, it's just a symptom. So let's start with the first one. You have to understand this. We're gonna take that lie. The lie was, I'm not a good speaker. Well, the truth is this. They want you, okay? People want you. People are looking for someone to lead them. So this is why you influence, you don't speak. Lead people to taking control of their health, building massive rapport with less total time with group reports. Because when you get in there, when I walk in the room, you are now getting the respect, you're leading people. And when you talk and you share your heart, because your stories are part of it, or the story of helping other people, that person sees the true you, the true hero, and they say, you know what? I like this person, and I want them to be a part of my life. You know, I remember, when I got up there the first time I did a group report, and I shared my story, I told them about how I was suffering with ulcerative colitis and everything I went through. And I told them my story with chiropractic, and I showed them the x-rays of Kayla, where she was a young girl on ADD medications, bipolar medications, all these things. And here she had braces on her teeth, so her family knew to get her braces. But they questioned if the care was worth it. She had a negative curve, a huge subluxation, a flat atlas, crushing her brainstem. And then so the parents left because they didn't see the value, although she had braces. They saw the value in that. I remember I felt like I failed them. And then they came back 4 months later when she was catatonic, and they realized we can't give her any more drugs anymore. And we were able to adjust her and to show the before and afters and to go over the case that girl got off all her medication and change. And that family, the husband and wife, didn't get a divorce because it was so stressful. And then after that, that mom helped over 52 different families in her office, because that mom went on she lobbied the government to say, you putting kids on freaking mind-altering medications to numb them and never get to, she's like, all the poison you told my daughter she needed was a lie. And here, no one told us that through healthy living and chiropractic, I got my daughter back and it changed her future. So, I mean, when you tell that story, it commands nothing. That's when people say, this is what we want. And it happens, so many doctors, they think, oh, well, this group thing's not going to work for me. Or they think, hey, it worked for Dr. Zaino and Dr. Tabor, or worked for Joe Smith, but it's not going to work for me. But it works for all kinds of docs. I mean, look, there's so many people who always thought they thought a group one-on-one was the only way to build rapport, but that's not true. But after people actually took the tools we showed them, and they started doing group report of findings, and they took the leap of faith and did what they had to do, they never, ever turned back. Their practices grew. They had more time for their family, but at the same time, they're able to influence and do what they had to do. So, I mean, so now I've shown you how to raise your status as an influencer and authority in your community, building celebrity-like rapport. That's what I felt like, a celebrity, in less total time than you were spending doing one-on-ones, but building 100 times the value. So like I said, I absolutely never look back. So the next lie was that the patient needs to be adjusted that day, right? Oh, well, I'm not going to adjust it. I'm going to go somewhere else. And number one, you know why they're saying that? Because no one ever educated them, because they're used to a medical model that's like, listen, here's the prescription slip or the permission slip to not have to change. And so they want to give their health into somebody's hands. But in reality, we have to teach them how to take control of their health, because we're not changing their philosophy that way. Because that means when there's an issue, it's your fault, doctor. But in reality, no, it's their life, it's their body. They have to be the doctor. So I love Fred Barge's book. It says, you know, are you the doctor, doctor? Wasn't that good? Are you the doctor, doctor? Meaning that, are you taking precedence and respect that you are the doctor and you lead them through the process they need, because you know what you do, and everybody knows. How many times have you compromised your processes and procedures? You let the person come back without their spouse, right? You know what happened there. We got to think about it. I got to talk to my spouse. You know, you let them come in and maybe you adjusted them without fully educating them. So either they felt great, they felt worse, or nothing happened and they wound up quitting anyway, right? So, and you feel the burn of that. But now, you know, what would it be like when we do these group reported findings to be actually, you know, you're actually paid in advance. No one, I don't adjust anybody until we're paid in advance for care. So they have enough value that they pay for it before the service. And then I know that I'm delivering the best standard of care despite the pressure of compromising and giving care without the patient truly knowing what chiropractic is. It was almost like, it's like if I prayed over somebody and they didn't believe in God, or they didn't even understand what a prayer was. It's like they have no value of it. But now if I adjusted you and he had no understanding of what happened, all that person's gonna think, well, he made a pop in my neck and something felt good or something stung, right? And they think it's just popping and cracking. But after my group report, they realize that the removal of a subluxation, they know the term subluxation, what it is. Removing the subluxation allows the body to express its full innate genius potential to every organ, cell, and tissue in our body. Not just for a physical function, but I'm emotionally connected, I'm spiritually connected. Like, you see the difference from popping and cracking to something that is literally life and universal altering. And you could do that in 45 minutes, right? So this is how you're the doctor. And so, I mean, I love that. And we had a patient, one of the doctors that has our group reported findings saying, and he says, you know what, I went in there and patients, I can't believe it. A patient paid in full. They got their kids and everybody checked out. They even paid for their kids before they even came in for the exam, because they got the message, they got the big idea. And then they're like, doctor, how many times, they felt like the leader. How many times should we come in? We're not gonna miss an adjustment. They were on board because they fully got the mission and what chiropractic can truly do to them. You know, chiropractic, on that one-on-one report of findings, I felt it was more, I was selling a therapy, right? I was selling a modality. When I do my group report of findings, I'm presenting them a new opportunity of the life they were supposed to have and they should have. So that's what the power in that. So, I mean, honestly, guys, what are some things that the old dogmas we may think, right? You're probably thinking, well, how am I going to build rapport? Are they going to really get to know me? You know, are they going to feel, you know, in a group? Is it not personal? But that's all the dogmas. I mean, look what happens now. I mean, I saved hours. People really truly get it, and their whole entire family gets checked. So right there. So how would you like to be paid in advance for your care right now? And most of you are. But know that you're delivering the best standard of care because you're not compromising, despite the pressure of compromising and giving care without the patient truly knowing what chiropractic is. So this is how someone becomes lifetime, is because they know they're not popping and cracking. It's not a Rice Krispie cereal. It's a life-altering, life-changing, generational giving, legacy-building lifestyle. That's what chiropractic is, and that's what the group report does. And now let's go to this. So let's go to the third secret that I know everybody doesn't like to talk about. Never come out of the room and say, oh, those patients, they weren't good patients. Have you ever said that one? I have, and I know you have too. Like it was, because we don't like to lose, right? We don't like to think that we didn't do our job. But when someone doesn't get care in your office, it's because an objection wasn't met, right? There was an objection deep down that wasn't met, because you know they would have done it. I'll prove it why everybody would do something. God forbid their child gets leukemia. What do? Everything. How much do they pay? Whatever it takes. How many doctors do they go to? As many as it takes. How long do they stay at MD Anderson in Houston, Tabor?
Yeah, as long as it takes.
As long as it takes. I mean, like, so they go on what are that? Like fundraisings. They all that, they become so resourceful because they truly got the urgency of cancer or heart disease. So we know people do that. We know people, because no objections were there. They had nothing. They didn't want anything to hold them back from that. And so In a one-on-one, I wasn't able to fully address all their objections, or I would get the objections after I presented it. You follow what I'm saying? So they were objecting, then I would have to answer. And I was good at it. I had my one-liners, I destroyed them. But now in the group reported findings, through my cases, through my examples, through the stories I use, and through how I teach them in the group report that I've spent a long time developing, I destroy every objection before it even can come up. You name me one objection, because just think, in 12 years and over now 16,000 patients, I've heard every objection you've possibly been able to hear. I've heard it hundreds of times, thousands of times. I could predict. I feel like a gypsy with a what do you call it, a psychic with a crystal ball, because I know exactly what they're saying and what they mean when they do that objection. And so what I do is I get to it before they even get to it. And I get them to see how that belief system, or that, what I call that autoresponder, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I'm too busy, all these other things, it's just an autoresponder that makes no logical sense when it comes to their health. I mean, Tabor, you've had some things when, remember the bebop bus, think about that, and you got so good at destroying objections now. I mean, I remember when we first met, Tabor was actually at my first Zaino experience. That's how we met. And Tabor, I mean, you grew by hundreds of visits, and I mean, it was the objection. Remember, you got to the point where you just destroyed objections before, right?
Well, the objections, I don't know if I'm echoing here for some
No, you're good, bud.
Okay, but I was realizing that I just wasn't covering everything that person wants to know. And an objection is just the fact that they don't know, they don't have all their questions answered. So they can't say yes. They can't commit to something if they haven't had all their questions answered, and there's still things up in the air.
And a lot of times, Tabor, an objection isn't an objection. It could just be a complaint that has nothing to do with you.
Yep.
Like if I say the price is $38.50, they're like, oh man, they're not complaining to me. It's just a complaint. So what? Just like,
right.
Complain. Oh man, I got to come 3 times a week. Yeah. Like they're not objecting. They're just complaining.
Exactly.
Okay. So a lot of times we take objections personally, but we get through it. So a couple objections, Tabor, I know that we built in the group report of findings. The masterpiece was, we do the time.
Yes.
We get to the money. We show insurance, how insurance doesn't do healthcare; they do sick care. We show the statistics on how, with people, like everybody wants to become debt free. So how people write their goals, right? So most of their goals are becoming debt free. So I showed them the #1 cause of debt is sickness. And people want to hold on to their money. They're very money motivated. Money's at the top of their goals. #1 cause of bankruptcy, medical bills, right? So if you want to become debt free, if you leave your problem there, will it ever happen? They're like, no. So we start showing that health is your greatest asset, time is your greatest commodity, right? Because the thing is, you could wait to do something. See, money's replenishing. This is what I tell people, like you work and you replenish the money. But the thing is, where you can't replenish is time. You'll get the money back, but not time, because people have to understand that, whether it be I want to be debt free, or the time, or the money, that understands like it. You gotta bring it down a level. Like use something that it's like I usually say, it's like putting your car up on the lift, and they say, listen, you got 4 nails in your tires, you got bleeding brake line, there's something leaking over here, and you say, well, I got a trip tomorrow, or I'm going to Las Vegas, I'm driving there, I don't have time for this. No one would say that. They wouldn't say, yeah, put the car down, I'll take a chance on it. No, they're like, fix it. Because if they brought it down and took the chance on it, they could have a blowout. They could be stranded on the side of the road. They could have a blowout and damage another car, damage another family. So everything that happens from not taking care of the problem is always worse. Yeah. And it's worse in many different dimensions of it, right? It could be a blowout to someone dying, right? So, but whatever it is, it's worse. It's going to take more time. It's going to take more money. And even though you could replenish the money, you'll never get that time back. So, I mean, we just totally go through every objection. Everybody's amazed when they sit through the masterpiece going, how'd you think of every objection? I said, you know why? The pain of hearing every objection over and over and saying, man, I missed that one. So just think, just picture yourself now, you're able to save all this time. You're doing this report, this group report, or let's say you are doing reports right now, and you're still getting some hesitation because you're not hitting the objections. But imagine you got to destroy all the common objections you hear, as well as getting all decision makers on your side in order for them and their loved ones to get the care they need to change their own life. That's why an objection is spouse, right? Well, my spouse is not going to come. I'd rather not even move forward with that. And we teach you how to definitely get the spouse there, because remember, their spouse thinks they got a back problem. Their spouse thinks they have a headache, and they hear about this freaking headache all the time. And their spouse is like, just go, just get it done. Like, why do I have to be there? It's your back, just get your back fixed. I don't need to be there, just do it. But the thing is, the spouse doesn't realize they have an organ problem. They have a lifeline problem, right? They think they just got a back problem. So if their spouse saw, listen, I tell people, listen, your husband just thinks you got a back problem. But if he knew those nerve roots are shutting down to your uterus, they're causing, damage to your digestive tract. And you have high blood sugar going to your pancreas. That pancreas, the nerve roots are going there. So if your husband knew that your organs were being affected, do you think you would have more urgency? Yes. And then we make sure we get the spouse there. And so that's huge. You got to get the spouse there every single time. Well, maybe 1 out of 20. 1 out of 20. Well, actually, I'm going to say every single time.
Yeah.
In this aspect, Tabor.
Yep.
Because Tabor, we know when the spouse doesn't come and they signed up. Have you ever had that? A spouse they were by themselves, but they still signed.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my 100%. But did they become a lifetime patient?
No.
Right. See, because what happens is, the spouse could come and say, listen, it's not for me, but at least I support her or I support him. Go ahead, honey, get the care you need. That's fine. Right, I get it, right? You're a big person. But when the wife comes, says, listen, my husband doesn't need to know what I spend. I'm doing this for me. Guess what happens? When they do find out, they make them quit because now it was spiteful. Or 2, when money gets a little tight, you're the first one to go.
Right.
Because the husband doesn't know anything. They're not on board. So the person with the least amount of knowledge, wisdom, and insight makes the decision of their health. So this is why, in order to do that, we have to become an objection ninja. Like literally the term ninja was there for a reason. So for instance, so just, hopefully you're getting, if you're liking this, well, this is not Facebook Live, I'd say you give me a thumbs up, but so going through just those little 3 secrets we went through. Now picture yourself, if we were able to show you that you can become an amazing influencer, right? Not speaker, you're influencing people and you start to lead people towards taking control of their health. And at the same time, you're building massive rapport with true authority because you're showing your true hero, right, in that group. And then you set the vision and authority and tone on how to best take care of that patient because now you're the doctor, right? Without compromising your values. You don't have to adjust them. You don't have to, hey, can we hurry this up? No. You own, because you're there. They're there because they didn't know how to take care of their health, right? So you do. And then when you become an objection ninja and you're literally proving value by destroying all limited beliefs and objections one would have regarding taking care of their health right now, and they actually start care in your office, how would your life and your office look? Just feel that for a second. How would it look that you went in there and you were the doctor? And now listen, guys, I'm a chiro. I've been there. I'm just like you. Chiros already feel like they're stepchildren of medicine. I get it, okay? Are you a real doctor? Someone on Yelp said, or one of my dinner ads, he's like, yeah, I went to Dr. Zaino. He's not even a real doctor. It's like, guys, I get the BS too. But imagine just going in there and becoming the authority of health. You give them the group report of findings, the masterpiece, gives the patient an experience they never had in any other office, right? They never went to their medical doctor and had this experience. So you really show value. So what would you do? You would feel fulfilled. You would actually, the reason why I said status, would you have higher status because you're respected from your community that you deserve? We don't have to hear like, are you even a doctor? No, they respect you. And what type of commitment from that patient would you have, showing that authority, wisdom, and taking that time with them? Especially now that they're investing a lot more money because you're going to raise your care plans, proving that. Because when you raise the money and they pay more, they have more commitment. And my patients that pay in full, that have more skin in the game, they never miss their adjustments. And if you don't miss the adjustments and they're on board and they're committed financially, they get the quickest and best results. right?
Yeah.
So here, let me ask you a question. So let me ask you these questions. How would you, if you're excited about what we're talking about, just raise your hand, even though I can't see you. So if you're excited about that, but also I know there's two types here. There's someone else that you're sitting there going, you feel a little overwhelmed, right? You're like, I don't know. I don't want to, you covered a lot. I don't know what to do. Like you're thinking about it, but you don't know enough to do it, or you just
It's
don't,
it's
right?
like drinking out of a fire hose.
Yeah, I got that feeling. I mean, that's the way to do it, and it's uncomfortable. I understand. But hopefully you see that, in this 36 minutes, Tabor and I, we tried our best to give you some value and some lessons in a short period of time. And I mean, Tabor, how long have you been practicing?
10 years.
And I've been practicing 12. So, I mean, we're talking about things that took us over 22 years of trial and error. I don't know about you, Tabor, but I spent tens of thousands of dollars hiring Roberto, going to all these seminars just like you.
Still spend tens of thousands.
Right? I mean, I would say combined over 100. But then again, you and I lost tens of thousands of dollars by not truly leading people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the thing. People are like, is this about the money? Well, here's the deal, guys. When that person didn't get, because I didn't know how to lead them correctly, they didn't just leave my office and go home. They left my office and they went to a medical doctor. And they got a surgery for $50,000. You know what I mean? So not only did they not get the care in our office that would totally help them, they went somewhere else and they spent 20 times the amount. No, sometimes 50 times the amount.
Yep.
So I mean, we have the best deal in the world, and so we can't go over everything in 36 minutes here. I mean, hopefully you understand that. So if it's okay, can we spend about 10 minutes or less going over the masterpiece report of findings that Tabor and I had created for you guys to help you implement this and get the results you need? We'll show you how to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
So right here. So Tabor, you want to go right here? So
yeah. So the masterpiece is an unbelievable program. I know from me personally, I feel very fortunate to be able to put this program together, and I watched every video multiple times editing and building this program, and it is top-notch, best in the profession when it comes to, well, number one, group report of findings, but even with all the bonuses and added videos that are in this program, it covers every aspect that you need to know from the beginning, taking a patient into the office, walking them through, converting them into a patient, and then also into lifetime care. So in the masterpiece report, there's actually 18 training videos. This is the core training of on different topics like understanding the power of a group, new patient check-in process, how to open the report of findings, what makes you different, understanding the doctor-doctor relationship, explaining that 100% health is 100% function, how to explain the nervous system so that the patient actually gets it, converting subluxation or covering subluxation in your report, the 4 questions you absolutely must ask, using x-rays and stories in your report, sick debt versus health debt versus health investing, destroying insurance objections, how to get the whole family under care, checking kids, implementing powerful systems in your office, and mastering the close, which is vital, and much, much more in this program. In fact, one of the biggest objections that we get from doctors thinking about joining this program is that there's going to be so much that they have to implement, and so they just don't have the systems to be able to do it, number one. Number two, the biggest thing that we heard was, I'm going to have to train my staff in these systems, and there's no way that I can do that. It almost feels like a burden when you get a program that you have to go through and you have to train your entire staff. So that's when we've added, as part of the masterpiece program, is the internal revolution and financial plans program. And this is a bonus program that will walk you through step by step the entire process of how the staff actually fills your dinners, fills your workshops, bring in new patients, has the entire system themselves. So you don't have to teach, you don't have to show them anything. All you have to do is get them the videos. They watch the videos and all of a sudden they are able to implement these systems on their own. So it's taking the work away from you, actually. Then the systems will be in place and this thing will flow smoothly. You get all the financial plans. You get the corrective care plans that Dr. Zaino does in his office. And I use these plans and I changed them, made them my own out of my logos. This one bonus could single-handedly increase your conversions and explode your office on its own. And this is a $997 value. So with the Masterpiece Report program, a $1997 value, and then you add in the Internal Revolution and Financial Plans program, a $997 value, we're already up to $2,994 is the value so far in this program. But we also had a lot of objections of people who saying, I just don't want to know about speaking in front of a group. And so we went to the master of speaking in the profession of chiropractic is Roberto Monaco. So he included an entire bonus training in this process to help make you more confident, to help allow you to know, have the confidence and the understanding to stand up strongly and confidently in front of a group and actually present. He shares 5 pillars of the presentation. He shows you how to create your talks. He has a process actually called chunks that he does. Shows you how to fully engage the audience, how to be more effective when you speak, how to use storytelling, which I've found is the most powerful and most important aspect of every presentation that you do. If you can learn what Roberto teaches you about storytelling, you'll be an unbelievable presenter no matter where you're presenting. I can guarantee you that. It will absolutely maximize your impact. And most importantly, he'll show you how to set up and give more public talks in your community. That's a $497 value that comes with the Masterpiece program, which is a $1997 value. The Internal Revolution Financial Plans program, which is $997, and then the Master Your Speaking with Roberto Monaco is an added $497. So you're looking at $3,491 worth of information, worth of programs right there already. But watch this. A lot of people have problems with conversion. In fact, if there's one thing that I talk to chiropractors about, and the biggest issue that they have is conversions. You work your butt off to get new patients in. They come through your process. You work hard. You go through the exam. You go through the report of findings, and they walk out of your door, and you've wasted all of that energy and all of that work. And so chiropractors are like, not only are my conversions low, I have to lower my prices. And one of the reasons they do that is because they're not confident enough to present a high price, multiple $1,000 care plan to a patient. They just don't think they can do it. Well, Dr. Fred DiDomenico has added this portion of the bonus to the Masterpiece program. He's one of the best corrective care chiropractic coaches in the profession. His clients have some of the highest care plans and some of the best care plans in the profession. In this bonus program, he'll walk you through the process of increasing sales and conversions in your office. He'll cover everything from how to deal with objections, such as I need to go home and think about it, I want to try it out, I don't have the money, to how you can become the thought leader for your patients. He'll show you how to walk them through the process of finding money to invest into their health and encourage them and have them tell others and refer others to you. So this is a $497 value, but I guarantee you guys it's worth way, way, way more than $497 when you would learn the information that Dr. Fred brings to the table here. So the Masterpiece program, the Internal Revolution and Financial Plans program, the Master Your Speaking with Roberto Monaco bonus, the Master Your Conversions with Dr. Fred bonus, but that's not all. That's $3,988.
Tabor, let me talk about this one.
Yes, go ahead.
All right, so this one right here takes it all away from you. So meaning, if you say, I don't have the time, or I can't ready, where can I do this? See, I know one thing is you got a good idea right now. You're inspired, you're excited, but what happens? Then your secret identity wants to tell you why it's not going to work. Oh, I got to set up a talk. I got to practice a talk. And you're going to say, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. You're going to be a perfectionist, right? So we're about being a potentialist. So what I did, I saw that was being an issue. And when my son Titus was born, he's 4 years old. 4 years before that, of course, he's 4 years old now, so 4.5 years ago, I knew he'd be out, and I was getting to the point of practice where I'm like, you know, I felt chained to my office, right? Like if I wasn't doing the report of findings, now I was doing a group reports and they were so proper, like they rocked. So if I wasn't doing a group report of findings, or if I went on a trip, then that means the office really took a hit. So the filmmakers from Medical Inc., they came in, right? Or Doctor. They came in, Jeff Hayes and the crew, 3-camera job, and filmed my entire group report of findings because it was the buzz. People were like, what is this guy doing? And I said, this is the best thing I do. So they came, they filmed a 3-camera job. And Titus, when he was born, I birthed him in a tub and everything like that. And I was cleaning the area with Castile soap, and it squirted in my eye, and I literally went blind. I really was blind. I couldn't see because the stuff was burning my eye, and I had a doctor's report that night, and I tried to go there. I tried to adjust. People were like, what the hell is wrong with your eye? And it was all red. It was getting pussy because it's just all, because you can't wash the soap out. It's burning it. And I said I had the rough draft, the rough copies. It was so rough, Tabor, that it had the time stamp on the middle. Like, when you edit something, there's that time stamp.
Oh, wow.
So it had it on there, and I go to Dr. Ryan at the time, I'm like, dude, just play it. And there was like a group, it was huge, there was like 10 groups. They played it, and all 10 people signed up. And I was home because I couldn't see.
Wow.
So he said, stop, all 10 people signed up. I'm like, what? A video? And there he goes, that was born. So that became my video doctor's report. And I play that every time I leave town or anything. We play that. When I even play it, honest to God, sometimes you guys don't feel up for a doctor's report, right? You're just not where you need to be. I'm like, play the video. The video closes better than me. And so what we did is, I'm going to give you guys the video. I spent over $20,000 for the video. All right, you guys get to have it. That video, I worked with Roberto Monaco, so every line in there was specifically trained, and it was laser focused ninja stuff. And you could literally, as soon as you get this program, you could honestly play this video tomorrow and sign people up. So you will get the full price of everything by tomorrow by signing up people. And you can watch, and you watch it, you learn from it, but you could play this. And we have doctors, Dr. Tabor, that all they do is play the video, because he said, listen, I got your masterpiece report. Until they built their own and got it down, they just played my video. But after like 2 or 3 weeks of the video converting 70 or 80%, they said, why would I even want to deal with that? So they just play my video. So my doctors, my group report of findings, my masterpiece, and it's not a me thing. It's not about Dr. Zaino, but it's just the masterpiece report is being played 100+ times a week or more in different doctors' offices and helping people around the world. And we're going to include this entire DVD and video for you. So this is speed of implementation. Today's Wednesday, you could show it tomorrow and get show it tomorrow and get a return on your investment tomorrow. And so this destroys all objections.
That's awesome. Awesome. So that is the Masterpiece Report program, which is all 18 videos, the internal revolution financial plans, which shows the system of how Dr. Zaino's staff sets up everything, runs everything from new patient to checkout to all financials, the Master Your Speaking with Roberto Monaco, Master Conversions with Dr. Fred DiDomenico, and high definition DVD of Dr. Zaino's doctor's report. Now, we know that the mindset of the sale was so important that, and you would probably agree, you're sitting here, and the biggest thing is when you actually do a financial or you recommend a care plan, if it's a high price care plan, it's like you shrink back. And so Dr. Fred is the ultimate coach and trainer when it comes to the mindset of understanding conversion, of understanding really how to help that person in front of you. And so we scheduled a very specific recording, private hangout with Dr. Fred, and we asked him all of the questions that every doctor has come in with conversions, why people weren't starting, what objections were going on. And so he sat there and answered question after question after question on a private hangout. And on this video, he'll walk you through his latest content for mastering conversions. And it's all up to date. It's all phenomenal information, and you and your staff can actually take the information, implement it. As soon as you watch these videos, it'll be available for you right away. So the Masterpiece Report program is added. We just keep adding on the Internal Revolution Financial Plans program, Master Your Speaking with Roberto Monaco, Master Your Conversions with Dr. Fred DiDomenico, the high definition DVD of Dr. Zaino's doctor's report, and the private sales and conversion training with Dr. Fred. That's 7,482. And we're not done. We got one more here because speaking was such a big deal. We asked Roberto, what else can we do besides the bonus that you've already included? And he actually has an entire program. So this is not just a bonus. This is an entire program on its own called the Influencers Playbook. So Roberto is probably one of the most, especially in chiropractic, well-known speaking coaches, but even outside of chiropractic, he does trainings, he does coachings, he speaks in front of thousands and thousands of people. And he put together this playbook called the Influencers Playbook for One-to-Many Presentations. It's everything that he's learned over the last 8 years as a professional speaker and influencer. He's delivered personally 2,700 live presentations in all US, Brazil, Canada, and Mexico. And this system can take anyone with any level of speaking, teach them how to become a master presenter in just 10 weeks. And all of that comes with a $497 value, comes with this program. So when you're adding it all up together, the Masterpiece Report program, the Internal Revolution Financial Plans program, the Master Your Speaking with Roberto Monaco, Master Your Conversions with Dr. Fred DiDomenico, the high definition DVD of Dr. Zaino's doctor's report, the private sales and conversion training with Dr. Fred, the Influencers Playbook with Roberto Monaco, that's $7,979 worth of information here that can help you reach more people and explode your practice like never before.
Dude, are you done?
Almost.
Right. So guys, if all this package did was get you an additional 4 patients to join your practice at a higher commitment level, leading to lifetime value. Like for instance, when someone does 3 months with me corrective and then the lifetime membership, the value is $54.70 per year for me, and then $21.60 the next year. So in 2 years, it's $76.30. That's the value of someone for 2 years in the practice. I mean, if you got 1 to 4, would it be worth the $8,000? And so now I'm not going to charge you. We're not going to charge you $8,000. But let's just say if we charged you let's say it was $8,000, and all it did was get you 4 committed lifetime patients, which would be in the $30,000 range. Would it be worth it to you as far as the return on investment?
And what if and then what's it worth to actually know that you're influencing, hundreds of extra people every month, every year in your office? If all it did was allow them to destroy all the limiting beliefs and objections that people came in with, what would that be worth?
But totally. I mean, yeah, answer that for yourself.
So we had 2 choices. We could go really cheap with this program. The problem with that is we couldn't really stack on the value for you like obviously we've done already. This took a lot of work. We had to interview Dr. Fred, Roberto, hours of interviews that we did with him.
We went to San Diego, Tabor.
We flew to San Diego. And then after we did all the work to actually get the program on film, then I put in hours and hours just editing videos, building the website, putting all of this together. So we decided to charge a slightly higher price, but it obviously is going to require a slightly higher investment on your side. But in exchange for that, I guarantee you, it'll dictate more time, energy, and resources to help you and help us guarantee your success. Okay. What would the end result be worth to you if? Imagine, okay, successful Masterpiece Group reported findings, some more patients signing up, people with higher commitment than you've ever seen before in your practice. Your income is increasing. You're saving time every week that you get to spend with your family. How much would you have to pay in time and money just to get one successful doctor's report? You can see why Dr. Zaino and myself, we've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars, days, months, years, and this has taken over a decade just to get the results that we've gotten so far. And we've done it and happily done it because it's not a cost, it's an investment. So what's the price? Well, you've already seen it's worth over $8,000, and even at $8,000, look, Dr. Zaino charges, what is it, $7,500 or $10,000 now for the Zaino experience?
Well, for the day and a half, Zaino experience is 10, but all the Chiropractic Thought Leaders get it for 7,500.
Okay, $7,500, and you could get this program. You could come and learn basically what we teach in this program, which you can have and keep and be able to teach all of your staff. But look, because you're here, you're on this webinar right now, you're still with us, you know, we're at 55 minutes now. You're still with us. We're going to give a very special offer for tonight. Now, the Masterpiece Report, if you go right now to the website, it's $1,500, which is an unbelievable deal program. You know, you would want to go grab that right now if you knew everything that we know about the Masterpiece Report. But
right there, if you were to just go to the website right now, you'll see it. It's $1,500, but if you were to hire a professional for us to do this to you, it would cost you over $50,000 minimum, like I spent with Roberto and everybody. But because we're doing it today, Tabor and I, we know you're committed to this and you want to grow and you want to have the amazing practice you want to change your life. Tabor and I, we're going to pay half of it for you. So we're going to pay for half of it, and we only ask that you meet us halfway. So instead of $1,500, we'll pay half. You just pay $747.
And this is the special webinar prices. I don't know that it's ever been this low before.
No, well, it's like if you're watching the webinar, watch this, guys. We're 55 minutes into it, and if you're still watching, you're the only ones that are gonna get the benefit. You follow? Yeah. Like the person who said, the person who left the webinar, they missed out. And you're only gonna get, if you're watching this, you made it to this level. This is the reward you get for being committed.
Now, I put the link below. You can also go to masterpiecereport.com/CTL. So to make it very easy for you, open another browser window, type in masterpiecereport.com/CTL, or click the link that's below in the comments. Now, you've got two choices right now. Number one, you could do nothing. That's definitely a choice. But if you do nothing with the information that you've learned over the last hour, what will it get you? Absolutely nothing. Now, the second choice that you have is you can choose to take that leap of faith, test it out, and just see if it will work for you. Guys, there's a 100% no risk money back guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, it's okay because you're covered. Now, there's a 30-day no questions asked money back guarantee. We'll give you your money back if something doesn't work, if you don't like it, if it doesn't fit you, but you can test drive it right now and just see if it'll work. It's worked for thousands of other doctors that are crushing it right now. I guarantee you, you have nothing to lose. So the real question is this: is it worth a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it does half of what we've just said on this webinar so far, and just in the next, if you just get one patient or two patients, it'll absolutely pay for itself in the next 1 to 4 weeks, and then you have a no questions asked money back guarantee. So jump in this, take the leap of faith, and just try it out. So here's what you're going to get when you purchase today. For being on this webinar, you're going to get the Masterpiece Report. You're going to get the Internal Revolution and Financial Plans. You're going to get Master Your Speaking with Roberto Monaco, Master Your Conversions with Dr. Fred DiDomenico, the High Definition DVD of Dr. Zaino's Doctor's Report, which is absolutely worth this entire program and more. The Private Sales and Conversion Training with Dr. Fred, and the Influencers Playbook program, which is an entire program itself on public speaking with Roberto Monaco, and not for $7,979, which we could charge for, and it would still be a great deal, but for only $747 today. Now, watch this, Dr. Zaino. I added an extra last-minute bonus for everybody who purchases from the webinar. And this will help on top of getting new patients, getting them through the system, converting them to care, but actually feeding them principled chiropractic every time they come into the office with the new patient retention system and DVD. And this is an added bonus. It's only available right here and right now. Okay, this is a DVD that you'll actually get all the downloadable videos. So you'll get them digitally as soon as you sign up, and you'll also get an actual DVD that's shipped and mailed to you. There's 7 new patient retention videos and referral generating videos. You can use it as a waiting room DVD. I do. I play it in my waiting room all the time. Your patients can actually learn the principle while they wait to get adjusted. There are links to the videos. You can put them on your website. You can send them to your patients in an email. Build an automated email follow-up sequence with these videos. I highly recommend it. Study the transcription and then make your own videos. Or, yeah, exactly. Re-record the videos. Use the exact same words as Dr. Zaino, but you can easily copy and paste those wordings into your own newsletters, handouts, and on your website. So this is an added bonus just for the chiropractors who take advantage of this in the next 30 minutes. So I'm going to cover it one more time, just in case you didn't get it. The Masterpiece Report program, the Internal Revolution and Financial Plans program, the Master Your Speaking with Roberto Monaco, Master Your Conversions with Dr. Fred DiDomenico, High Definition DVD of Dr. Zaino's report, Private Sales and Conversion Training with Dr. Fred, and the Influencers Playbook with Roberto Monaco, plus the extra added bonus, the New Patient Retention System, at over $8,476 value for only $747 for this one-time webinar discount. Click the button below, click the link in the comments, or go to masterpiecereport.com/CTL.
Great job, Tabor. I mean, I
Awesome.
just thank you so much for, I mean, like when you see all this stuff, guys, you know, I'm the visionary and stuff like this, but everything you see there, the videos, the packaging, Tabor created all those products, man. And what Tabor doesn't like you to know is that he has he's full-time in practice. He's got 2 practices. He's got twins and Ryder, who's a little bit older.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, he does most of this stuff when everybody comes home and watches TV and watches the game and surfs on Facebook. He's grinding and hustling until 2 in the morning. So, dude, I appreciate, and you know, you don't realize it. I mean, you realize it, but when you just stack that like you did and be like, you created all that, I appreciate you. And I know there's a lot of people and docs out there that do.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And we had a question earlier about the financial plans. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll make sure that Dr. Zaino gets them. We'll cover them now. We've got time. We'll hang on until all the questions are answered. But I think we covered this one after you asked the question, so you may have already got it answered. But basically, does all the corrective care and the financial plans come with the program? And yes, they do. And they're editable. So what I mean, is editable a word? I've always wondered that.
Dude, it sounds good to me.
Okay, they're editable, and you can actually put this is what I did. You put your logo on it, if you want to change the numbers, if you want to make it fit your programs, absolutely, but they all come with the program. So there's
you could always when you have this program, guys, it's not like here's the program, take care. No, you have the program and you email us with any questions. But even though we nail every question, but even I'm a question person, so you know, this is something when you have it, you just let us know and we'll help you guys out.
Well, and that was a great question. I appreciate that that question being asked, because one thing we didn't mention in here, because we didn't necessarily call it a bonus, but just comes with the program, comes with the Masterpiece Report, is all the paperwork, everything that you need to run the entire Masterpiece Report. You know, including the plans, but there are some checkout sheets. There's a lot of different types of documents in there, and it all comes with the program. So, awesome. You know, I didn't think about that. That in itself probably worth $1,000, because I mean,
well, there's a lot of people get a little nervous about that. It's like, and you'll see, you know, like, what's the magic care plan? How to do it? Because it's one of those things that you ask yourself just to just to keep you from moving forward. But you really see that when you build so much value, it's so it literally is, you go in and you read the page.
Yeah.
It's a 30-second read the page.
Yep.
And Carla shows you exactly how to do that.
Yeah. They walk you through in that Internal Revolution and Financial Place program. Dr. Zaino's staff literally teaches your staff how to say and do everything. So don't worry about that. They watch the plan, they watch the videos, they should know exactly how to do it after that. Another question, if you're feeling particularly quote unquote out of state right before a report of findings or dinner talk, what do you do right before to put yourself back in state?
Great question, because here's the thing, that's the secret conversation no one likes to have. Oh no, man, you get in state, do your power move. But there are times when you don't feel like doing it. I get it. You don't feel it. It is. For me, I play the video and I go home. You know,
Awesome.
I go home. The doctors do it. But if it's a dinner, if you guys have my dinner, well, the dinner program, I did the same thing. You have the dinner. But let's say right now, let's say the person, watch this, you're not in the right state, or you want to be a dinner doctor for it. Well, you can't walk away. You got to go and do it.
Right.
You go and do it. And for some of you guys, maybe when you get 5 or 10 minutes in, you start getting that back again. Or for some, you feel the pain that it's going to feel like it takes forever. And then you get to go home, driving home going, I just wasted an hour of that person's time.
Right.
I've been there.
No, and I appreciate you being, what's it called? Where it's like open and transparent. Yeah, I was almost said see-through. I appreciate you being transparent about that, because I think if you're, the typical practice management, like rah would be like, no, you're always in state. Yeah, you're, like.
No, even worse, Tabor, if you feel like that, Tabor, they say you're off purpose, you're off mission.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? When you're told that, how does that make you feel? Because like you're like, no, I'm not off purpose. I do love people. It's a horrible way to coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the thing is, I've been to different coaching companies. I've gone to the top of different coaching companies, and I've been to dinner with the top coaches, and later on to the bar with the top coaches. You get to hear the real story.
Right. That's the truth.
But the audience feels guilty, and they feel there's something wrong with them, or they feel they're not on purpose, or they feel less than. And you know what? They don't realize that there's nothing wrong with them. They're fully equipped. They're absolutely worthy. But it becomes that state management. It's going to happen, guys, when you're running the red line all the time. Of course it's going to happen. Yeah. And so the thing is, so you embrace it and you say, they're just like I did. What am I going to do the next time this happens? I'm not going to avoid it. Like, okay, good. I need a video. I need a backup. I need to have a backup, because I don't want to be the variable that causes that person not to get the help they deserve, right? Because it's sometimes I'm the weak link.
Right.
And what can I do to ensure that I could, if I'm aware of it, I could prevent it? And that's why I play my video. I have no pride whatsoever. No ego diminishes when I'm like, I'll play someone else's video. In fact, I played someone else's video the other day, Tabor.
Nice.
Yeah, I played because I just for the heck of it. Let me see. It did great. So like, yeah, because it's the end result that counts, right?
Yep.
So the best version of me, you got to understand, when you look at that video, guys, that was me in my peak. I'm seeing 2,600 people a week when that video was taken, and I was in my peak. And not that, and I'm different. I'm evolved now, but there was a certain time in my life where I was on fire, and that video is me on fire. And that video, I have no problem playing that.
Nice.
Because that was the best of.
Yep. Well, awesome, guys. If there's no more questions, let me just encourage you to take advantage of the program now while you still can. Thank you so much for being on the webinar tonight. I hope you enjoy the new type of layout and training that we're doing. I hope you got a lot of value from it. And I hope you also see the huge value in this program, the Masterpiece Report. So we'll look forward to a lot of you joining the program today and being able to assist and support you as you implement this in your program and you start to transform your practice and transform the patients in your practice. So anything else you want to add as we go, Dr. Zaino?
You guys did great. Take full advantage of it. And I'll see you guys soon. Have a blessed night.
Thanks.